I was being a little idiot.
Yeah, that's what we want.
100%.
That's what we want, yeah.
For me to be an idiot.
No,
that sounds fucking good.
No, spontaneous.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, you meant idiot.
Bang, coming for the top, got the game in the lock. Every time that I drop, no, I gotta go bang. I'ma keep it hot, know that I can never stop. Keeping everything I got, I'ma make it go bang.
We are back. It has been a huge over 1 year hiatus from the 6 Round Vlogs, now the 6 Round MMA show with yours truly, Jesse, and I'm here with my co-host, who hopefully future longtime partner, and Andrew Backus.
Nice to have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Yeah, he's not good at English. It's actually really embarrassing.
It's nice to be here.
You keep laughing. That's what everybody's doing at you. We've been off for over a year now. Actually, it's been probably close to about 1.5 years. Reason why we did that, I wanted to make sure this channel was professional. I wanted to restructure everything. That's one thing a lot of people have a hard time doing. They have a baby, they have a project, and they're so afraid to kind of just rip it up, figure out where the inefficiencies are, change it up, revamp it, and then of course, redo the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't been gone. I have 2 other YouTube channels in the work. I've been in tons and skits. I have my It's Jesse Leonardo page, which I'll link below. I also have another page called Black Iris, which is a total production team. We do music, we do skits, we do hopefully in the future some more vlogs.
Trust me.
And we're gonna be back for hopefully every pre and post-fight analysis on both main UFC and of course Bellator cards, because Bellator's fucking sick.
Let's go see, you know?
But I don't think any of the organizations have yet to put out a card that's as strong as the one that's coming up on this Saturday.
They couldn't even fit Benavidez.
Yep.
They couldn't fit Dominic Cruz. They put him on the undercard.
Yep.
So we got a stack card. We have a lot to discuss here.
Which is almost like a slap in the face, but it's not, because like it is such a stacked card. But Dominic Cruz's last fight, he literally fought for the title. He came up short against Henry Cejudo in devastating fashion. But before that, also fighting a title fight against Cody Garbrandt. And then you have Joseph Benavidez, who's pretty much always in a title fight for the flyweight belt, or at least in title contention. So that just tells you about that.
Well, there's only about 3 or 4 fighters in the flyweight division. So, right?
Yeah, and half of them are going up. Henry Cejudo fought for the flyweight, and he's like, I'm going to bantamweight, and then he retires, but that guy's an idiot, and that's not what we're here to talk about, and hopefully never have to talk about him again, because I don't like him.
Probably even more truer now.
First on the list, we've got Alexander Rakic.
Yep.
And we've got Thiago Santos. We haven't seen Santos in a bit. Last fight, Glover?
Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, it was a tough fight.
It was, because I think Thiago Santos was whooping his ass. It's just
for most of the fight.
It's just one of those things where Glover has one of those like God-given chins. Really, Thiago Santos looked amazing coming back from that knee injury against that John Jones fight, which I kind of felt he won, but he looked phenomenal. It just sucked because so far deep into the fight, he got caught after landing so many bombs, which every other human would have fell to.
Yeah, he rubbered Glover.
Yeah,
multiple times. But I don't know if this is true, but Glover's plan of attack is get the shit kicked out of you and keep going. And you know what? It's working. I don't know how long it's going to work for, but Thiago Santos, again, brutal leg injury against John Jones. Maybe both legs, right? Wasn't it both legs? Both knees coming back. I think he's primed. He's ready, and I think this is a tough test for him.
It is. Yeah. It is, because a lot of just like the mainstream MMA fans don't know who Rakic is, and he's a phenomenal kickboxer as well. He loves his leg kicks. He has devastating knockout power. I just think Thiago Santos is going to be a little bit too big for him, and I really, really think he's going to utilize his wrestling, which he hasn't really used in his past, and his jiu-jitsu, which Rakic isn't going to be ready for, because Rakic is a predominantly stand-up fighter. Yeah. And Thiago Santos is going to use that BJJ. I think once he kind of feels that kickback from Rakic, I think that is when he's going to take it down.
You think he's going to clinch
and ground and pound?
Go into it? Yeah,
I do.
I could see it, but that's what, once he was laying on his back against Glover, it was, you kind of seen him get a little overwhelmed. Yeah. So I don't know what his ground game looks like against maybe someone who's not Glover Teixeira. Yep. Right?
But Glover Teixeira is a phenomenal BJJ practitioner. That's one thing people don't know, because he's a granite chin. There's a lot of these guys that people don't know that have BJJ because they go out there and they just want to take your head off. Rightfully fucking so, because they get emotional. It's an emotional sport.
Yeah. And Santos trained quite a bit while he was off with those knee injuries. From what I heard last time throughout the commentary, was he trained a lot in the gi, though. Yep. So I don't know if that translates to like a no gi situation right now. But this is a great fight to kick the card off. I mean, You've got two guys that are hungry in this division.
Title challenger.
Yeah. Well, Adesanya's moving up. I mean, we'll get to him in a bit, right? We don't know what's happening with that, but this is a great fight to kick this division off, especially with Jones. We don't know what Jones is doing. He's out there looking for money, right?
Honestly, yeah, he's looking for money, and rightfully so. Arguably the greatest fighter in the world, but you can do everything Conor McGregor wants, but with John Jones, you're having a hard time. Fuck off. You're going to heavyweight. You're going to fight Ngannou. Of course you're going to ask for more money who's someone literally, if they hit you, could literally cause serious permanent damage, considering he's never even fought at heavyweight before. So that's a huge risk for Jones. So I get it. Yeah. Buddy, keep fighting your thing, do your thing, and hopefully you get the money you're worth, to be honest.
Yeah. Next fight on the card, you got Islam Makhachev versus Drew Dober.
Yep.
This was just added.
It was.
Maybe a few weeks ago.
Which I have mixed feelings about.
Great addition to the card, but why do you say that?
Well, Islam Makhachev is supposed to be the protege of Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
So, which is great, and he fights just like him.
Very similar.
However, Islam Makhachev has yet to fight anybody. Like, literally fight anyone.
Okay.
Like, no names that people heard were Drew Dober, Drew Dober has fought some of these big names in the past before, and Islam Makhachev is kind of new to that. So we're going to see, because Drew Dober's a big test. If he can annihilate Drew Dober, beat Drew Dober in dominating fashion, then he'll literally reassure my confidence in him. Be like, all right, yeah, he's under the Khabib Nurmagomedov umbrella. He's exactly what we thought he was going to be.
Well, we know what these Dagestanis usually do. And our boy Drew, I mean, is he going to be able to stand the test?
No.
No.
Yeah. No, he could.
No.
He could. But also the thing is, too, is the biggest thing, I was trying to look at the dates here.
Yeah.
And Drew Dober is far more active than Islam Makhachev is. Islam is almost 2 years away from the octagon, where in 2020, Drew Dober fought twice alone. So that could play a big factor.
Well, wasn't Islam scheduled to fight in the summer?
Yeah, but he never did.
And then that was...
I forget who he was supposed to fight. He was actually supposed to fight, I think it was a oh man, I don't even fucking remember who he was supposed to fight. But it was supposed to be, check it out. Fact check. This is a big test for him, and I'm not yet sold, even though I want to be. I know he trains with these guys like DC Cormier, Khabib Nurmagomedov, so obviously his wrestling IQ is going to be second to none in that division. It's just going to be how he handles being on a big stage against a bigger name for the first time ever on one of the biggest UFC pay-per-views of all time. And you have the fact check?
It was CM Punk. He was coming back.
That's a fucking lie.
Yeah, he's coming back, and he needed a
Islam Makhachev wasn't going to fight CM Punk.
Yeah, man.
That's not CM Punk. It can't be.
No.
Oh, okay. Holy shit.
Rafael dos Anjos.
Oh my God.
That fight was actually canceled twice versus RDA.
Holy, I was going to bottle you. CM Punk. CM Punk would have done great in that fight.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah.
He's ready. 2-stripe white belt, right?
Yeah, white belt chief.
White belt chief.
Who do you think is going to win this fight?
Looking at the stats, looking at the training camps, yes, Islam hasn't fought any ranked opponents. I don't think anyone inside the top 5 or maybe the top 6 or 7. But based off of what I've seen from Khabib, if he's got an ounce of what Khabib has, he's going to take that recipe and he's going to apply it to these fights going forward.
No, I don't disagree. I just hope it's going to be... So I don't disagree that he's going to win. I do think he's going to win, but I want to see how he handles it. If it's going to be a lackluster fight because he feels the jitters of being on the main event, because that's something we've yet to see. We've yet to see a big test. But I am still going to go with Islam Makhachev, but I'm probably going to honestly... I think it's just going to be a decision fight. It'll be an exciting fight.
Oh, for sure.
But I think it's going to decision.
Yeah, I don't know. That one, for sure, I think is going to decision.
Yeah. Okay.
Whether it's Islam or Drew, I don't really know.
Yep.
But I'm going to take Islam.
Okay.
That's who I'm favoring.
Well, me too. So we're on the same side.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I just fucking said that. I just want it to be exciting.
I'm not copying you. Jesse.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Okay.
Now.
Well, all right. Let's go to one of the 3 title fights that we have here. You know what? Let's talk about Peter Yan, Elijah Ben Sterling.
Yeah.
The bantamweight title.
The bantamweight title. Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling. It's been rescheduled once, so fingers crossed this one doesn't go anywhere because these guys are they're pretty good fighters, Jesse.
Yeah, I think Peter Yan's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just So for me, the last two fighters that Peter Yan has fought
Jose Aldo
past his prime, he still looks great, but Jose Aldo is not on a huge win streak, and to take that fight for the vacant at the time because Henry Cejudo left, bantamweight title, he looked great. But is that because he was also against a guy? I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, Jose Aldo looked amazing against Marlon Moraes.
Yep.
His conditioning was there.
Where the fuck is Marlon Moraes? Thanks. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
He's dropped off a cliff since.
Yep.
But Peter Yan, that was a crazy fight. I think stopped a little too late. Sterling's going to come in. He's probably going to wrestle a little bit more.
I think he's going to try to wrestle the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, Peter Yan's got a sambo background as well. But he's one of those. He's that like perfect fighter that we talked about before, where they have this IQ on the ground, this grappling match, but he just wants to go in there and let all his emotions out and try to go for the knockout, which he's definitely going to try to do. I just think Elijahman. Did I say Elijahman?
Hakeem Olajuwon?
No, not Hakeem Olajuwon. No, sorry.
Aljamain? Yeah.
Yeah, Aljamain Sterling. Sorry. I think he has a few more tools in his kit than Peter Yan does. Peter Yan fights with too much aggression, and I think Aljamain Sterling is just been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. He's rebounded so amazingly since that Marlon Moraes devastating loss, which in my opinion would never happen again. Yeah. And his wrestling and grappling is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to go the 25 minutes, no problem. But so Peter Yan. This one's tough.
Yeah.
I think it will be, fight of the night out of the whole card for sure. I do think that.
So where do you think it's going? As far as who are you leaning towards?
Yep.
As far as winning, and how do you think they're going to win?
If Aljamain Sterling doesn't step away from his game plan, then I think he'll win this fight. I just don't want him to get caught up in the emotion and swing for the fences, because that's when Peter Yan's going to smile and really take advantage, and I think he's got more power, and I think he'll end up finishing the fight.
Who did Peter Yan fight before Jose Aldo?
Uriah Faber.
Uriah Faber?
Yep.
So...
But I mean, he did what he's supposed to do. He ridiculed him.
Yeah, but two fighters past their prime.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yep.
The display of power is there, but is it something that he can, or is it something that can translate to a top 5 fighter?
Yeah, someone with a better chin that hasn't been weakened as much as Uriah Faber's and Jose Aldo numerous times. Yeah. That's a big question.
Yeah.
If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would go Peter Yan. But my heart is with Aljamain Sterling for sure. That's how I want to go with. I think this fight is going to get finished for sure. Probably though in like the 3rd or 4th round.
I'm going to go decision.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a dog fight. I think they're just going to equal each other out. But I think Aljamain has the wrestling advantage, and I think he's going to just smother him for 5 rounds.
Well, I hope you're right. No, actually, I really do hope. Yeah, I do. Okay. I think Aljamain. Honestly, I just think he's. First of all, ever since Peter Yan, we're going to move on, but Peter Yan has been talking so much shit ever since he's won that belt. Like, dude, you fucking beat Uriah Faber. Great. The guy's cardio is amazing, but the dude's 117 years old, way past his prime. Oh my God, you knocked out Jose Aldo. Well, literally so is everybody now. If you blow Aljamain Sterling out of the water, you got my props.
Yeah.
I don't want you to. The women's bantamweight title.
Amanda Nunes.
No, sorry, featherweight title, because she's going up to this is featherweight now.
Upweight.
Yeah.
Megan Anderson.
Fight. Yeah. No, because isn't this a 145? Because Amanda Nunes is the dual weight champ.
Yeah, but I think she's defending both at the same time.
Yeah, so I think she's defending the 145 because Megan Anderson's a 145er. Yeah, it is. Fact check. I'm factual.
Megan Anderson. Yeah.
Megan. Oh yeah, my girl Megan. Fuck, I can't talk at all today. This is a stupid poison rockstar drink. I'm just kidding. I love you guys sponsor me.
Double check here. Head movement. Rhonda.
Head movement. Don't make fun of Rhonda. She's in a coma still.
I watched that fight again today.
Yeah. It didn't take long.
You know what? Pound for pound, I don't care women's, men's. She's up there on the list, man. She is one of the best fighters I've ever seen in the cage.
Well, she's crushed everyone.
She's legends of the sport. Legends.
Literally my favorite female fighter of all time, Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
I want that rematch to happen because, I mean, Cyborg was going crazy. She did such an amazing job, but she gets overly emotional too. But we're not talking about that anyway right now. But I do want that rematch to happen. But I don't see this cross-promotion shit ever happening. But this fight, the reason why I'm least interested in about it, is because so Amanda Nunes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to watch her fight again.
Living legend.
Megan, I think she knows.
I think you think it's too one-sided.
No, I feel bad for Megan. Not because she's going to lose, because you never know, shit happens.
Yep.
But I think anybody knows that the only reason why Megan has this fight is because there's nobody else to fight.
There's literally nobody else.
The two people that Megan Anderson lost to in the recent, Felicia Spencer and Holly Holm.
Yep. Amanda's literally
obliterated it. Yeah. She's only beat two no-name fighters. Not no-name, I don't want to say that, but there's that Vienna, and what was the last one? Fact check, hold on. Zara dos Santos. Great fighters, but if I tell that to 20 MMA fans, 19 are not going to know who they are. And that's the problem. I mean, stylistically, I don't think Amanda's fought anybody like Megan. And I'm not saying Megan doesn't deserve to be there, but Megan literally only has this fight because of default, because they need their champion to fight.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody.
Yep.
You can't have Holly Holm fighting for the title for the 19th time.
Oh my God. I don't want to see that fight again.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to see that fight
That's
again.
what I'm saying. You know what fight should happen? You know what this should have been?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going with this.
Valentina Shevchenko.
The third one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But I'm telling you right now.
Oh, she's beat her twice.
But I think Amanda Nunes is scared. And the reason why she's scared is not scared of Valentina, but Valentina is the only person where people have said, oh, you know, I think Amanda lost that fight.
Yeah.
That's why.
And Valentina's wrestling has gotten so much better since those first two fights against Amanda. It's teetering. They're on a collision course. If Amanda doesn't retire after this fight, they're on a collision course to meet each other again.
And honestly, I've said this before, and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
But I truly believe the best striker in all of MMA, men and women, is Valentina Shevchenko.
She's amazing.
Like, better than Amanda. Amanda just has, like, bombs in her hands, but and she's amazing, but I mean, the versatility of her striking, her fight IQ, I mean, she's also a professional ex-kickboxer and boxer. There's nobody better at striking than Valentina Shevchenko. Look what she did to Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and that girl was a killer.
From a technical standpoint, it's unmatched and it's almost unfair. But I don't want to take anything away from Megan Anderson because, again, it could go either way. She does have the height. She does have the length to keep Amanda at bay. I don't know if that's worth anything, but...
What's she got to do to win?
I think stay on the outside. Try not to clinch. Work the jab. And try and catch her with a lucky hook. She's definitely not going to win the submission game. She's definitely not going to win the wrestling game. Throw those long kicks. Use those long legs. I think she has to be very active at distance. But once you get within range, I think Amanda has such pinpoint boxing, accuracy, and power at the same time. I don't want to write Megan off too soon.
Yep. But you can't. It's a fight game. You can't do it.
I'm leaning towards the champ.
Yeah.
The double champ. Now, this is something I want to bring up. While people have the belt, double champ, we've seen it with Cormier, we've seen it with McGregor. Has she let up off the gas? Are we going to see the same motivated Amanda here? Probably, because she always shows up, but that's kind of in the back of my head. That's what I'm thinking about going into this, because what's Megan Anderson done? She's a huge underdog. What does she have to lose, right?
Well, I don't know if she's going to be as motivated because, well, first of all, her and her wife I don't know if they're married, but they just had a kid.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the different thing too. And I don't know if she's going to be motivated fighting somebody. First of all, the paycheck's probably not as big as usual, but the thing is, you're fighting somebody that literally shouldn't be fighting you. So I know Amanda's a good professional and she's going to take it seriously, 100%.
Yeah.
But how serious, as opposed to fighting the others, like the Chris Cyborgs, the Holly Holmes, the Jermaine Durandamines? Like, how serious are you going to be taking this fight? I mean...
And that's a scary thing in the fight game when you don't take something as serious as fighting. Going into a cage, you're locked in there with another person. If that's not on your mind 100% of the time, there is that chance you can get clipped.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
I don't like the comparison you made to like Daniel Cormier and Conor McGregor though, because Conor McGregor still doesn't know what it's like to be a champion because he's never even scheduled a title defense.
The worst double champ in history?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like any MMA fan knows, a real MMA fan knows too. Matt Hughes has said it. All the great champions have said it. You are never a champion until you defend your belt. And he didn't even try to schedule defending his title.
And I mean, technically, Cormier defended against Derek Lewis.
And he beat Stipe originally.
And he beat Stipe originally.
And it was a good fight. He just got caught.
We don't want to get too far off topic here. Who are you taking for this fight? Megan Anderson, Amanda Nunes.
Oh, Amanda Nunes, for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think Megan's going to have those jitters for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think Amanda's just going to like stalk her down and just close the distance real fast. And I actually think she's going to take it to the ground to eliminate Megan's reach completely. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's where it goes as well. Mm-hmm. I think she either clinches or she uses those heavy hands, heavy kicks. Yep. And I've got Amanda as well for this one.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the main event.
Yeah.
Is
that the next one?
The new light heavyweight champ is defending his title against the current middleweight champ. Are you fact-checking this? Are you fact-checking it?
I just want to check because there's so many great fights on this card.
It's the biggest fucking fight of the card.
I just want to check. Yeah, that is the next fight.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we got Israel Adesanya versus...
Yep, that's how you pronounce his name for sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is that not how you say it?
Yeah. Yeah, Adesanya, that's perfect. Wait till he fucking sidekicks you to Adam's apple.
Adesanya, my bad.
Yep.
We got Jan.
Yeah, Jan Błachowicz. I hear Joe Rogan says it perfectly, and I thought it was like Jan Błachowicz before, and I'm way off. It's Jan Błachowicz.
I think you're right.
Anyways.
Yeah, Jan.
Yeah.
Jan.
I think this fight's happening too soon, first of all. A super fight. Israel is already getting painted by people as the best 185er on the planet, and for me, that is not fair. I don't like when people do that. He's done an amazing job, but you've only defended it a small handful of times.
Yeah. In
great fashion.
Yeah.
But how do you go from people like these GSPs, even Kamaru Usman's getting up there now, he's on a good roll, Demetrius Johnson, who never gets talked about, John Jones, have these long winning streaks. Mm-hmm. They're possibly the GOAT. They're not yet the GOAT. Khabib Nurmagomedov even gets looked over all the time about being the GOAT. And then you're talking about this guy could be the best ever, and he's going up for a super fight. He deserves it. I don't understand why he deserves it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think I know why he's doing it, and I think he's going up to maybe win the belt and kind of like...
Just to prove a point.
Tease John Jones.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah.
He wants to prove his point. To be honest, I hate it when the new guy that comes into the division just automatically gets the title shot because of star power, because he has the belt in the other division. Mm-hmm. I don't see why he shouldn't go through the gauntlet and run through the whole division before he gets the title shot, but fans are not going to stick around for that, and they want to see the big name fight. You've got you've got one belt on the line here, but two guys that hold belts in different divisions. And to be honest, I like this fight.
I like it too to watch. I just think like on paper, like ranking wise again, like, and the title that this fight is getting is like wrong in my opinion. I guess is what I'm trying to say. No, but I do think Israel's amazing. And to be honest, in his defense, the 185 division is not good anymore. You've
got the top 5 guys, and outside of that,
which he's already beat.
Yeah, it's kind of. And look at what happened to Gastelum.
Yep.
You know, he's kind of fallen off a cliff since last time. So.
Well, he rebounded his last fight. He looked really nice, but that's true. I think that fight with Israel showed.
Oh yeah.
Really humanized Israel Adesanya, because that was a close fight. That was the hardest competition that Israel has ever had. Period. Besides the time that he got knocked out in kickboxing, but that was the hardest MMA fight that Israel's ever had, and the closest he's ever gotten to losing. He got rubbered numerous times, but it also showed his strength and his will to win.
Well, he's gotten so much better since last time. Since that fight, he's gotten so much better. Robert Whittaker handled him with no issues at all. Yep. You know, Robert Whittaker maybe not in the right headspace for that fight. But yes, I agree with you, Jesse. I don't like this fight just based off the fact that he's getting this shot because he has the star power and because he's there and he has a belt at the same time. He can dance. He's flashy. If I'm being very honest with you, it's a bad matchup for Yan.
I think it's a very bad matchup.
I think it's terrible. Yeah.
Well, Jan's 3 of his last 4 fights, I think, were knockout. 3 of them were 3 of the last 4 fights were knockouts against got Luke Rockhold, Corey Anderson, and Dominic Reyes. Huge names.
Yep.
I just think stylistically, those fighters are completely different.
I think he killed Rockhold. Has anyone heard from Rockhold?
Well, I haven't heard from him since I went to his funeral. But yeah, no, felicidades.
Oh boy.
But no, it's okay. But I think Israel is completely different stylistically than all 3 of those fighters.
Yeah.
Because those guys get engaged in brawls and they get emotional. Where Israel, he's going on his 101st professional fight in pro combat sports. His 101st. You can't get in his head. You can't bother him. Yeah. And you can't get him to engage in a game plan that he didn't sign up for. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. I see Israel keeping this at a distance and just really frustrating Yan Błachowicz. And even though Yan is going to he's ready for this shit. He's fought big names. I just think stylistically, like you were saying too, it's going to be very tough for Yan because Yan hasn't fought someone like this. The closest thing would have been Dominic Reyes, but even Dominic Reyes didn't fight like Dominic Reyes. He got involved in an emotional war, close range, which really wasn't his style if you watch the Jones tape, and look what happened.
The only way to beat Izzy is you have to outwork him, number one. You have to match his volume or exceed his volume. You have to be the more aggressive guy in the ring or in the cage. And I don't think that's what we saw at Apollo Costa last time. I think
he was scared. He was scared before the fight started, though.
You freeze.
He's scared.
Once you get in there, we saw it with Yoel Romero as well. There's just so many different things that Izzy throws at you, and you don't know how to answer that.
But what happens is when you talk too much, like those guys did, you put yourself into a really bad corner. I love you, boy. Paulo Costa was defeated before the walk-in even happened. On the other part of this, I'm scared for Izzy because even though I think he has what it takes to win this fight, he's never been hit by a light heavyweight. And he's never been hit by a light heavyweight who could be a heavyweight.
The power.
So if Yan is able to win this fight, people lose. Israel's lost before.
Yep.
I really think this will ruin Izzy's whole career. Because now it happens to every single fucking person. When they get rubbered, that's it. It's it. Everything changes. They get rubbered all the time then. It happened to Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson got slapped around by Justin Gaethje. If you watch that Oliveira fight, he rubbered him right at the beginning of the fight.
And once the chin goes...
Chuck Liddell, his whole career ruined like that. Rich Franklin, his career whole ruined like that. Rampage Jackson gets rubbered every day. Vanderlei Silva too, when he was fighting. As soon as he got knocked... Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Jose Aldo.
Yep. Everything changes.
It changes, but
Frankie Edgar.
Here's that knockout was that knee. That's gonna change Frankie's trajectory. Here's the thing. I don't think Izzy has anything to lose from this fight. Aside from the fact that he can't keep up with these guys above his division, I still think he has the positives and he can remain the king at 185 because no one's gonna touch him down there.
Yeah. I do think he has something to lose though. Because he's talked so much about the light heavyweight division and John Jones. If you go and lose against Yan, you know very well John Jones is going to assault that Twitter feed all fucking day. And rightfully so. Because he's done it when like Luke Rockhold and Chris Weidman are like, I'm coming to light heavyweight. I'm going to fuck John Jones up. I'm the one. And then they get knocked the fuck out. And then John Jones just verbally gives it to them. And that's what's going to happen to Izzy. And Izzy's never been in that position before. If he loses.
Yeah.
If he loses, I really think it's going to screw that. It's going to screw his ego. And then I think when he comes back to 185, he's going to have a problem. He's going to be different.
Well, it completely ruins the John Jones fight. If he loses this fight...
Which one, yeah.
It completely loses... we completely lose interest in the John Jones fight where both fighters undefeated meet at the top of the mountain and they battle it out. Yep. So, for me, yes, for sure, he has a lot to lose as far as fighting John Jones and being at light heavyweight, but he loses nothing at being at middleweight. Is what I kind of meant. Yeah,
if he can get out of that unscathed, if he gets knocked out, I think it's going to change his 185 reign. I think he's going to fight these guys like Robert Whittaker. He can hit hard, and he landed a nice head kick on Izzy.
Oh yeah.
So if that chin is post Yan Błachowicz knockout, is that head kick going to be? Are you going to wear it the same? Because I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
So what do you think the game plan is for Adesanya coming into this
Oh,
fight?
I think Adesanya should just do what he does in every single fight. Keep the distance, dance around, frustrate the hell out of him, dance in the ring, have fun. Do what he does every single time. Don't change it. Don't get close. Because I think that's what Yan should do, is want to engage and get close and take away Israel's limbs, take away, right?
Well,
when I get close.
Yeah, Israel's the longer fighter, right?
Yep. Try to take it to the ground.
The bigger guy.
Yeah.
How often do we see the bigger guy coming up in weight? It's kind of strange to see, but yeah, tough test for Yan.
Yep.
Very, very tough.
But if he can get it to the ground, it'll be a tough test for Israel. If I'm going to put my money in it for sure, I do think Israel has what it takes. He uses every part of his body as a weapon, and Jan's not going to be used to that. And I think he's going to be able to finish Jan probably. You know what? I don't know if he's going to finish him, but I think he's going to win. It could go to decision. It could.
Yeah, and you know, Izzy just got his purple belt.
Yep.
So maybe if it goes to the ground, he's okay down there.
Yep. Congrats,
right?
Izzy. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I would love to see that John Jones fight, though.
Yeah, I don't.
It's so funny. As soon as John Jones moves up in weight to heavyweight, Izzy follows and goes to lightweight.
Yep. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. It's a fight you're never going to see either. I think it's just going to be one of those Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, GSP topics. Yeah. One of those things is like, oh, it's a dream.
Pacquiao.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, GSP as well.
Yep.
I think even Kamaru Usman, GSP, people are talking about that as well. It's one of those things that it's kind of good that it doesn't happen, because then it's always a conversation. Because if it happens and one fighter wins, one fighter loses, that discussion's over.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
kind of.
I'm going to say Izzy stops him.
Izzy stops him.
I do. I do think he does. And that has to fall around the second or third round. I think the first round is going to be a feeling out process.
Yep.
First time in the ring with a light heavyweight. It does happen in the second and third round, I think.
Nice. Yeah. Completely disagree with you.
Yeah. That's okay.
Well, just because I feel
okay.
Jan's been hit cleaner by heavier hitter dudes.
But the volume.
No, that's going to make a big difference for sure. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, but I we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I think we have our picks for the night.
Top to bottom, this card is stacked.
Yep.
Even the prelims, you know, we're not going to go too far in there.
Yep.
But the prelims are stacked too.
Yep.
Is there any way for us to put our picks on the side? Your picks over here, my picks here? No?
Possibly.
Coming for the top, got the game in a lock. Every time that I drop, know I gotta go bang. I'ma keep it hot, know that I can never stop. Keeping everything I got, I'ma make it go bang.
We will be back here for the post-fight analysis as well. As soon as the fights are done, we're going to post that as well. Yep. We hope this wasn't too lengthy or maybe too short. Let us know below in the comments. We're going to try to obviously restructure. We're doing this as we go as well. Totally new format for us, but we wanted to make it more personable, less scripted, and just more conversation about the fights and the sport that we love so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Buddy, thanks for having me at my house.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Don't you guys love this new studio?
Thank you so much for following along. Honestly, we love you. We're so happy, and we're going to be here for a long time. I'm so happy that we rebooted this whole channel, and we're going to see you guys soon.
Enjoy the fights.
Peace.
Bang, coming for the top, got the game in a lock. Every time that I drop, know I gotta go bang. I'ma keep it hot, know that I can never stop. Keeping everything I got, I'ma make it go bang. Better than the best, I'ma tell it with my chest. I don't got no time to rest, now they know what I'm saying. Everybody know I'm coming next, I'ma leave it in a mess. If they wanna test, I'ma make it bang. Step into the mind of a young man with the plan.